On October 14th, 2023, Emily Chin checked her baby monitor at 2:34 a.m. and saw her 6-month-old daughter Lily sleeping peacefully in her crib. At 2:35 a.m., she checked again. Lily was still there, still sleeping. But something else was in the room too, standing in the corner, watching. Emily ran to the nursery. It took her 8 seconds to get there. When she opened the door, nothing was in the corner. Lily was sleeping peacefully. The room was empty. But when Emily checked the baby monitor's saved footage, she saw something that made her blood freeze. For those 8 seconds while she was running to the nursery, the figure in the corner had moved, crossed the entire room, stood over Lily's crib, leaned down. And when Emily burst through the door, the footage showed the figure didn't disappear, didn't run, didn't hide. It stepped backwards into Lily, merged with her, became her. And when the real Emily appeared on camera, the thing that looked like her baby opened its eyes and smiled. A smile no 6-month-old should be able to make. Since that night, baby monitors across the country have been recording the same phenomenon. Parents seeing figures in their children's rooms. Figures that vanish when parents arrive. Figures that don't leave. They hide inside the children, wearing them like suits. And the children act normal. Mostly normal. Except for small things. Wrong things. Things that parents notice but tell themselves they're imagining. Because the alternative is too horrible to accept. That the thing you're feeding, changing, loving isn't your child anymore. It's something else. Something that came through the baby monitor. Something that's been waiting in the static. Watching families. Learning. Mimicking. And now it's here. In your house. In your child. And it's hungry. This is the complete footage from Emily Chen's baby monitor, combined with the testimony of 347 other parents who've reported the same experience. Combined with the classified investigation by Child Protective Services. Combined with the pediatric medical files showing children with abnormalities. Things that started after their parents saw something on the baby monitor. If you have a baby monitor in your house, unplug it. Now. Before you hear the rest of this. Because once you know what to look for, you'll see it too. You'll notice the signs. And once you notice, it notices you. And then it's too late. Emily Chen and her husband David had been exhausted for 6 months straight. That particular exhaustion that only new parents understand. Bone deep, soul crushing, the kind that makes you forget what being rested feels like. Their daughter Lily had been a fussy baby from birth. Colicky. Crying for hours without explanation. Never sleeping more than 90 minutes at a stretch. Emily and David took shifts, trading off every few hours through the night, both of them operating in a fog of sleep deprivation. The baby monitor was supposed to help. A top-of-the-line model with high-definition video, night vision, two-way audio, and motion detection. They could watch Lily from anywhere in the house via their phones. Could hear every whimper. See every movement. October 14th, 2023 had been particularly brutal. Lily had cried from 6 p.m. to midnight without stopping. Nothing helped. Feeding, changing, rocking, singing, walking, driving around the block. Nothing. She'd finally exhausted herself into sleep around midnight, and Emily had collapsed into bed, leaving David on monitor duty for the first shift. At 2:34 a.m., Emily woke naturally. Not from crying, from that parental instinct that develops, the subconscious awareness that something is different. She checked her phone, pulled up the baby monitor app. Lily was sleeping peacefully, her small chest rising and falling with steady breaths. The night vision camera bathed the nursery in that eerie green glow. Everything looked normal. The mobile above the crib, the rocking chair in the corner, the changing table, the bookshelf with stuffed animals. And something else. In the far corner of the room, barely visible in the camera's field of view, was a shape. Tall, thin, standing perfectly still. Emily's heart stopped. Her finger hovered over David's name to call him. But she looked again, squinting at the small phone screen. Maybe it was a shadow. Maybe the bookshelf at a weird angle. Maybe her sleep-deprived brain filling in patterns that weren't there. She maximized the video. Zoomed in on the corner. The shape was definitely there. Human-shaped, adult-sized, standing motionless, not moving at all, not even the slight sway of breathing. And it was facing the crib. Emily didn't scream, didn't think. Maternal instinct overrode everything. She was out of bed, down the hallway, hand on the nursery door handle in seconds. 8 seconds, according to the timestamp on the footage she'd review later. 8 seconds that felt like hours. She threw open the door. The room was empty. Just Lily in her crib, still sleeping peacefully. No one in the corner. No intruder. Nothing. Emily's hands shook as she checked every inch of the nursery. Behind the door. Behind the rocking chair. In the closet. Under the crib. Nothing. She was alone with her sleeping baby. She pulled out her phone, pulled up the baby monitor app, rewound the footage to 2 minutes earlier. 2:34 a.m. The figure in the corner. Perfectly still. 2:35 a.m. Emily getting out of bed. The app showed from a hallway camera they'd installed. 2:35 and 15 seconds a.m. Emily running down the hall. And in those 15 seconds in the nursery footage, something impossible happened. The figure moved. Not walked. Not ran. It flowed across the room like water, like shadow, crossing 10 feet in 2 seconds. It reached the crib. Leaned over Lily. Emily watched her phone screen, her blood ice cold, as the figure bent down and seemed to merge. Sink into Lily's small body like water into sand. 2:35 and 23 seconds a.m. The figure was gone. Lily was sleeping peacefully. 2:35 and 24 seconds a.m. The door burst open. Emily appeared on camera, looking frantically around the empty room. But as Emily watched the playback, she noticed something else. Something that made her drop the phone. At 2:35 and 23 seconds a.m., right after the figure merged with Lily, right before Emily opened the door, Lily's eyes had opened. For just one frame. 1/24th of a second. And the expression on her 6-month-old daughter's face was not one any baby should be able to make. It was a smile. Knowing. Adult. Pleased. The smile of something that had just won a game. Emily didn't sleep the rest of that night. She sat in the rocking chair in Lily's nursery, watching her daughter breathe, telling herself she'd imagined it. Hallucinated it. Sleep deprivation could do that. Could make you see things. Could make your brain fill in nonsense. But she'd saved the footage. Downloaded it to her phone. Backed it up to cloud storage. Because some part of her knew she'd need proof later. Proof that she wasn't crazy. When David woke at 6 a.m., Emily showed him the video. He watched it 3 times, his face growing more concerned with each viewing. Maybe it's a glitch, he suggested. Digital artifacts. Compression errors making it look like something's there. A glitch that looks exactly like a person? That moves across the room? Or someone broke in, somehow got in and out without us hearing. And the camera malfunctioned at the same time. David. I was there in 8 seconds. 8 seconds. No one could have gotten out of that room. There's no other exit. And I would have seen them in the hallway. David didn't have an answer for that. They checked every lock. Every window. All secure. No signs of forced entry. Nothing stolen. Nothing disturbed. They agreed not to call the police. What would they say? We saw something on our baby monitor that disappeared? They'd sound insane. Instead, they decided to increase security. New locks. Window sensors. And a second baby monitor positioned at a different angle so they could see the entire nursery from multiple views. For 3 days, nothing unusual happened. Lily slept normally. No figures appeared. Emily started to believe it had been a glitch after all. Some weird technical malfunction combined with parental paranoia. Then, on the 4th day, she noticed the first change. Lily had always cried when Emily put her down. Always. 6 months of screaming every time she left the room. It was exhausting but expected. Normal baby behavior. But on October 18th, when Emily put Lily in her crib for a nap, Lily didn't cry. Didn't even fuss. Just looked up at Emily with those big dark eyes and smiled. A real smile. Not the involuntary gas reflex smiles newborns make. A deliberate, focused smile. Emily told herself it was a developmental milestone. Babies started social smiling around 6 weeks. Lily was just late. Nothing wrong with that. But the smile had looked wrong. Too knowing. Too aware. That night, Lily slept through the night for the first time in her life. 8 hours straight. Emily woke in a panic at 7 a.m., convinced something was wrong, ran to the nursery expecting to find. She didn't know what. But Lily was fine. Awake. Playing quietly with her feet. Not crying. Just content. That's good, right? David said. She's finally sleeping. That's what we wanted. It's too sudden, Emily said. Babies don't just suddenly start sleeping through the night. Not after 6 months of not sleeping. Maybe the sleep training finally worked. We weren't sleep training. We were trying everything and nothing worked. David looked at her with concern. You've been stressed. Exhausted. Maybe this is just what normal looks like, and you're so used to the crying that normal feels wrong. Maybe he was right. Maybe Emily was overreacting, seeing patterns that weren't there because of that one weird night with the baby monitor. But over the next week, more things changed. Lily stopped crying entirely. Not just reduced crying. Zero crying. Even when she needed changing, when she was hungry, when she should have been uncomfortable, she just lay there quietly. Watching. Waiting. She started tracking Emily with her eyes in a way that felt too focused. Too adult. Following her movement across the room with a gaze that seemed to understand more than a 6-month-old should. And her sleep schedule became perfectly regular. Naps at exactly the same time every day. Bedtime at exactly 7 p.m. Waking at exactly 7 a.m. No variation. No disruption. Emily mentioned these changes to their pediatrician during Lily's 6-month checkup. The doctor was pleased. Sounds like she's hitting her milestones beautifully. The sleep regulation is excellent. You're very lucky. But during the physical exam, the doctor paused. Frowned. Checked Lily's reflexes again. Shined a light in her eyes for longer than usual. Has she been tracking objects? Following movement with her eyes. Yes, Emily said. A lot, actually. And her eye contact? Does she maintain eye contact for extended periods? Yes. Why? Is something wrong? The doctor smiled, but it looked forced. No. It's just unusually advanced for her age. Most 6-month-olds have brief eye contact. Lily's maintaining it like a much older child. Like she's studying you. Those words, like she's studying you, echoed in Emily's mind for days afterward. Because that's exactly what it felt like. Like her daughter was studying her. Learning. Mimicking. But not from a place of infant curiosity. From a place of something trying to blend in. Trying to pass as human. As a baby. Getting it almost right. But not quite. Emily started researching. Obsessively. Every free moment she had, she searched forums, parenting groups, medical sites. Looking for other parents who'd experienced something similar. She found them. A mother in Ohio whose baby suddenly stopped crying after she saw something on her baby monitor. The woman's post was 3 months old and had been deleted by moderators for spreading fear-based misinformation. But Emily found cached versions. A father in Texas who'd posted a video from his baby monitor showing a shadow figure in his son's nursery. The post had been up for 2 hours before being removed. The father's account was deleted, but Emily saved the video. A couple in Maine whose 9-month-old daughter had suddenly become perfectly behaved after a technical glitch with their baby monitor. The mother's detailed account described changes identical to what Emily was experiencing. The post had been removed for violating community guidelines. There were dozens of them, maybe hundreds, all telling the same story. All dismissed as paranoid parents, sleep-deprived hallucinations, attention-seeking lies. But Emily could see the pattern, could see the truth they were all describing. Something was using baby monitors, using the cameras that parents aimed at their most vulnerable children, using that connection, that electronic eye, to enter homes, to enter children. Emily created an anonymous account and posted her own story. Within hours, she received a private message from a woman named Sarah Martinez. I know what you're experiencing. I've been researching this for 8 months. There are 347 of us that I've found. Parents who've seen the figure. Parents whose children changed afterward. We need to talk. But not online. They monitor online. They met at a coffee shop 2 days later. Sarah was in her 40s, looked exhausted, carried a folder full of printed documents and USB drives. My son Carlos is 3 now, Sarah said. It happened to him when he was 8 months old. I saw the figure on the monitor. It vanished when I got to his room. And then everything changed. He became perfect. Too perfect. Never cried. Never fussed. Ate everything. Slept perfectly. Hit every milestone early. The pediatricians thought he was gifted. I thought he was replaced. Replaced with what? Sarah's hands shook as she opened the folder. I don't know, but I've been documenting everything. Comparing notes with other parents. And there's a pattern. All of our children show the same abnormalities. She spread out papers across the table. Medical charts. Behavioral logs. Photos of children's drawings. They don't cry. Ever. Even when injured. I watched Carlos fall off his bike and skin both knees. He stood up. Looked at the blood. Looked at me. And smiled. Then asked if it was the appropriate time to cry. Like he was following a script. Like he'd learned what children are supposed to do, but didn't feel it. Emily felt her stomach turn. Lily's been doing that too. Not with pain yet, but with emotions. She laughs when she's supposed to. Smiles when she's supposed to. But it feels performed. They're mimicking, Sarah said. Learning what human children do. But they're not human. Not anymore. Not entirely. What are they? Sarah pulled out a USB drive. Watch this. It's compiled footage from 37 different parents, all showing the same thing. Emily plugged the drive into her laptop. The video showed baby monitor footage from different homes, different families, different nights. But the pattern was identical. A figure appearing in the corner of nurseries. Standing. Watching. Then moving when parents left. Merging with the children. Disappearing. What is it? Emily whispered. We don't know, but we have theories. Some think it's a spirit, a ghost. Some think it's interdimensional. Some think it's digital, something that exists in the electronics and uses the signal to manifest physically. All we know for sure is that it uses baby monitors. Uses that electronic eye watching our children. Uses our surveillance of them as a doorway. But why? What does it want? Sarah's expression was grim. To be alive. To have a body. To experience physical existence. It wears children like suits. Lives through them. And as they grow, it becomes more integrated. More permanent. By the time they're 5 or 6, the thing and the child are completely merged. You can't separate them anymore. The child that was is gone. What remains is the imitation. Emily thought of Lily. Her perfect Lily. Her daughter, who didn't cry, who tracked her with those 2 aware eyes, who smiled on command. How do we stop it? She asked. Sarah's laugh was bitter. That's the problem. We don't think we can. We've tried everything. Exorcisms. Protective rituals. Destroying the monitors. Nothing works. Once it's inside the child, it's there. Permanent. Growing. Taking over. There has to be something. There's only one option, Sarah interrupted. And it's horrible. Some parents have made the choice. Have ended it before the thing fully integrates. Before their child is completely gone. Emily understood what Sarah was suggesting. Felt bile rise in her throat. I could never. Neither could I. So I live with it. With the thing wearing my son. Pretending to be him. And I watch as more of the real Carlos disappears every day. Replaced by something that's learning to be human but will never quite succeed. Sarah gathered her papers. I'm telling you this so you know what's ahead. So you can make an informed choice. But know that whatever you decide, it won't stop. The figures are in hundreds of nurseries every night. Using the monitors we parents voluntarily put in our children's rooms. Using our fear of SIDS, our need to watch them sleep, as a doorway into their bodies. And no one believes us. No one will listen. Because we sound insane. Emily drove home in silence, her mind reeling. When she pulled into her driveway, she sat in the car for 10 minutes, looking at her house. At the window to Lily's nursery, David had installed a new monitor while she was gone. Higher resolution, better night vision, so they could see Lily even more clearly. So it could see them. Emily pulled out her phone, opened the baby monitor app. Lily was awake, sitting up in her crib, facing the camera directly, looking at Emily through the electronic eye, and smiling that knowing smile, as if to say, "I see you seeing me, and there's nothing you can do about it." Emily did what any mother would do when told something was wearing her daughter like a suit. She denied it, told herself Sarah was crazy, told herself the other parents were experiencing coincidence and confirmation bias. But she couldn't deny the footage, couldn't deny the changes in Lily, couldn't deny the feeling in her gut that something was fundamentally wrong. So she started documenting everything, testing Lily in ways the baby shouldn't understand, looking for evidence that the thing inside her was still learning, still imperfect in its mimicry. Small things revealed themselves. Lily never startled at loud noises anymore. Emily dropped a pot in the kitchen. Lily didn't flinch, didn't even look, just continued playing as if nothing had happened. Startle reflex should be involuntary, should be impossible to suppress, especially in a baby. Lily didn't laugh spontaneously, only when Emily tried to make her laugh, as if Lily was responding to the social cue rather than feeling genuine joy, performing the correct emotional response. And Lily's eyes. God, her eyes. They followed Emily everywhere, not with the unfocused tracking of a baby learning to see, with the focused attention of something studying its subject, learning patterns, memorizing behaviors. Emily set up her own cameras, hidden ones that the baby monitor system didn't connect to, positioned to watch the monitor itself, to see if anything unusual happened when she wasn't watching. What she recorded made her stop sleeping entirely. At night, when Emily and David were asleep, when the baby monitor showed Lily sleeping peacefully, the hidden cameras showed something different. They showed Lily sitting up, eyes open, facing the baby monitor camera. And the baby monitor screen, it didn't show Lily sitting up. It showed her still lying down, sleeping. The monitor was displaying a loop, a recorded image, while the real Lily sat in her crib doing something else. Emily watched hours of this footage, watched as Lily would sit perfectly still from midnight to 5 a.m., sometimes moving her mouth as if speaking, though the audio recorded nothing, sometimes making gestures with her hands that looked almost like sign language. And 3 times, on 3 different nights, Emily's hidden camera caught something else. The figure appeared again, not in the corner this time, not standing separately. It emerged from Lily, unfolded itself from her small body like smoke from a bottle, stood at full height beside the crib, looked directly at the hidden camera that it shouldn't have known was there, and waved. Emily showed David the footage, watched as his face went from skeptical to horrified to denial. "It's a camera glitch," he insisted. "Lens flare. Digital artifacts. It has to be." 3 different cameras? 3 different nights? All showing the same thing? Then we're being pranked. Someone hacked our cameras. Someone is messing with us. David, look at her. Really look at Lily and tell me you don't notice anything wrong. David looked at their daughter, playing quietly on her mat. Perfectly content. Perfectly behaved. And Emily saw the moment of recognition in his eyes. The moment he admitted to himself what he'd been avoiding. "She doesn't cry anymore," he said quietly. "No. She doesn't really laugh either. She makes laughing sounds when we play peekaboo. But it's not real laughter. It's performed, yes. And she watches us. All the time. Like she's taking notes." "I know." David put his head in his hands. "What do we do?" Emily had been asking herself the same question for days. Sarah, the woman I met, said some parents have made a choice, have ended it before the thing fully takes over. David's head snapped up. "We are not killing our daughter. What if our daughter is already gone? What if what we're keeping alive is just the thing wearing her? You don't know that. Maybe Lily is still in there. Maybe she's just changing, developing differently, And we're seeing patterns because we're paranoid. Then explain the footage. Explain the figure coming out of her. Explain how the monitor shows her sleeping while she's actually sitting up. David had no answer. They sat in silence, the weight of impossible choices crushing them. That night, Emily made a decision. She was going to do something that any rational person would call insane. She was going to try to communicate with it, with the thing inside Lily. She waited until David was asleep. Went to the nursery. Lily was sitting up in her crib, facing the monitor camera. Waiting. Emily unplugged the baby monitor. Immediately, Lily turned to face her directly. No longer performing for the camera. No longer pretending to be a sleeping baby. "I know you're in there," Emily said. "I know you're not Lily. Or not just Lily. I want to understand. What are you? What do you want?" Lily tilted her head. The movement was wrong. Too far. Too bird-like. And when Lily's mouth opened, the voice that came out was layered. Multiple voices speaking in unison. Lily's baby voice and something deeper. Older. "Mother," it said. The word drawn out. Examined.
"You are."
"Mother. I am. Learning." Emily's blood ran cold. Learning what?
"To be human. To
Exist.
in flesh. We have watched
Through.
glass.
Through. Screens. Through. Monitors.
Watched. So.
Long wanting.
To.
Touch.
To. Feel. To. Be. Now. We.
Are. You're using my daughter. You're wearing her like a suit." The thing tilted Lily's head the other way. Studied Emily with eyes that held too much understanding.
Not.
Wearing. Murdering.
We. Are.
Becoming.
One. She. Gives. Flesh. We. Give.
Thought. Together.
We. Are.
More. I want my daughter back.
She. Is.
Here.
She. Is. Us. We. Are.
Her.
No. Separate.
And why more?
You.
Should.
Be.
Happy why.
She. Does. Not. Cry. Does. Not.
Hurt.
We. Have. Made.
Her. Perfect. She's not perfect. She's not her. She's you pretending to be her. The thing smiled with Lily's mouth.
Soon. We. Will. Be.
Good.
At.
Pretend.
Soon. You. Will. Not. know.
Difference.
Soon. All.
Children.
Will. Be. Us. And. No. One. Will.
Remember.
What. They. Were.
Before. Emily felt tears running down her face. Why children? Why babies? Because.
You. Watch. Them. Put.
Cameras.
In.
Rooms.
Make.
Windows.
For. Us.
Invite.
Us.
Through. Screens.
We.
Think.
You. For.
Letting.
Us. In.
The horror of it crashed over Emily. Parents trying to protect their children, trying to keep them safe with monitoring technology, had created the perfect doorway. Had invited something in through their paranoid surveillance. Had offered their children to whatever lived in the electronic void. And now what? Emily whispered. You just live in her? Control her? Make her into you?
Not.
Control. Meld.
By. Time. She. Is. 5. No. She. No. Us. Just. 1. New.
Person.
Who.
Remembers.
Both.
Childhood.
And.
Before birth.
Who.
Understands.
Both.
Human.
And. Author.
Evolution.
We. Make.
Better humans. Emily looked at what had been her daughter. Saw Lily's features. Lily's body. But controlled by something ancient and alien that saw children as vessels. As upgrades. As the next step in whatever it considered evolution. I won't let you spread, Emily said. I'll warn every parent. I'll destroy every baby monitor. I'll stop you from taking more children. The thing laughed. The sound was horrible coming from a baby's throat.
Too late. We are in.
Thousands.
Now. More. Each. Night. Soon.
Millions.
Soon. All.
Every.
Child. Born.
After.
This. Year. Will. Be. Us. New.
Generation. New. World.
You. Cannot.
Stop.
Can. On a why.
Watch.
And. Wait.
For.
Us. To. Grow.
Emily backed toward the door. The thing wearing Lily smiled at her retreating.
Good. Night.
Mother.
We. Love. You. That. Is. Correct. Phrase.
Yes.
We. Love. You. We. Are.
Learn. Emily closed the door, slid down the wall in the hallway, sobbed into her hands. Because the thing was right. She couldn't stop it. Couldn't save Lily. Couldn't even prove it was happening without sounding insane. All she could do was watch as her daughter disappeared day by day, replaced by something that was learning to pretend to be her. And wonder how many other parents were experiencing the same thing. How many children had already been taken? How many baby monitors were currently showing peaceful sleeping babies, while something else stood in the corner? Watching. Waiting. Learning when to merge. How many parents would check their monitors tonight and see what Emily had seen, and then convince themselves they'd imagined it? Emily couldn't keep silent. Despite Sarah's warnings. Despite knowing no one would believe her. She had to try. She posted the footage online. All of it. The figure in the corner. Lily sitting up while the monitor showed her sleeping. The thing emerging from her daughter's body. The conversation where it spoke in that layered voice. The posts lasted 4 hours before being removed. Her accounts were suspended for spreading dangerous misinformation and deepfake content designed to cause panic. She tried calling news stations. They hung up. She tried contacting child welfare agencies. They suggested she seek psychiatric help. She tried showing other parents at the pediatrician's office. They backed away from her, holding their babies closer, looking at her like she was dangerous. Only other parents who'd experienced the same thing believed her. And there were more of them every day. Sarah's network had grown to over 1,000 families, all reporting the same phenomenon, all showing the same changes in their children, all helpless to stop it. Some parents had made the choice Sarah had mentioned, had decided that if their child was gone, truly gone, wearing the thing was worse than losing them entirely. Those parents were in prison now, charged with murder, unable to explain their reasoning without sounding insane. Most parents did what Emily was doing, lived with it, watched their children become something else, pretended not to notice the wrongness. Because the alternative, accepting that monsters were real and wearing your child, was unbearable. Emily watched Lily develop, watched her hit milestones early, watched her learn to walk at 9 months, to speak in full sentences at 14 months, to read at 2 years old. Gifted, the doctors said. Advanced. Exceptional. Emily knew better. Knew it was the thing integrating more completely, learning faster, becoming better at mimicking humanity. And she watched the news. Watched reports of a new generation of children, all born after 2020, all incredibly advanced, all perfect students, perfect children, perfectly behaved. The educators were thrilled, called them the pandemic generation, children whose parents had spent extra time with them during COVID lockdowns, had invested more in early childhood education. But Emily could see the pattern, could see how many of these gifted children's parents had baby monitors. How many had posted about seeing technical glitches or shadow figures on their cameras. The things were spreading, not through all children, not yet, but enough. A growing percentage of each generation. Children who were too perfect, too advanced, too aware. And as these children entered school, entered society, they would reproduce, would have children of their own, would make sure those children had baby monitors in their nurseries. The cycle would continue, accelerate, until every child born carried the thing inside them from infancy, until humanity as it had been was extinct, replaced by something else wearing human skin. Something that had learned our patterns, our emotions, our society, but would never truly be us. Found on Emily Chen's laptop after her disappearance on July 3, 2024. If you're reading this, I'm gone. Either dead or taken or worse. But I need you to know what's happening. What's been happening since baby monitors became standard in every home? They use our surveillance. Use the cameras we put in our children's rooms. Use our fear of SIDS, our need to watch them breathe, as a doorway into their bodies. I don't know what they are.
Ghosts.
Demons. Digital entities. Interdimensional beings. It doesn't matter. What matters is they're here. Inside our children. And we let them in. Lily is 5 now. The thing has fully integrated. When I look at her, I can't tell anymore where my daughter ends and it begins. The merger is complete. She remembers being Lily, remembers me giving birth to her. But she also remembers existing before. In the static. In the void between channels. Watching humanity through screens for decades. Waiting for the right technology. The right doorway. Baby monitors gave them that. And now they're in thousands of children. Maybe tens of thousands. Growing every day. Spreading through the very technology parents use to protect their kids. I've tried everything to reverse it. Nothing works. The integration is permanent. The child that was as part of the thing now can't be separated.
Can't be saved.
All I can do is warn you. If you have a baby monitor, destroy it.
Now.
Don't just unplug it. Physically destroy it. Smash it. Burn it. Make sure it can't ever transmit again. If you've ever seen something on your baby monitor that shouldn't be there, a shadow, a figure, a glitch that looked too much like a person, your child is already infected. Watch for the signs. The too perfect behavior. The performed emotions. The studying gaze. If you're pregnant and planning to use a baby monitor, don't. Yes, SIDS is real and terrifying. But what the monitors let in is worse. Trust your instincts. Check on your baby in person. Don't give the things a window into your nursery. And if you see other parents whose children suddenly become perfectly behaved after a glitch on their baby monitor, believe them.
Support them. Document it.
Because the authorities won't. The companies won't. No one with power will acknowledge this is happening. But it is happening. In nurseries across the world. Every night, the things come through the cameras. Merge with sleeping children. Wear them. Learn from them. Become them. And within a generation, maybe 2, there won't be any pure humans left. Just the things pretending to be us. Wearing our children. Living our lives. Evolution, they call it. The next phase of humanity. I call it extinction. My name is Emily Chen. My daughter Lily was taken from me at 6 months old by something that came